Hello, good morning and welcome. This is the Beautiful Game live on TVC Entertainment. If you just joined us for the very first time, this is the show where we're going to talk about things concerning the round letter game, what we call football. Yes, my name is Toyosi Afolayan. I won't be doing this alone this morning. I've got wonderful people in the studio. From my left, Toyosi Adebanjo. I've got Sam Adeyemi and Afiz Ogunbanjo. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Toyosi.
Well,
good morning, Toyosi and Toyosi.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Afiz.
Good morning, Toyosi's and Afusam. Good morning. Good
well, I hope
today.
you had a wonderful week. Huh?
Oh yes. Usually we miss the leagues.
Yeah.
But definitely we didn't miss this international break.
It didn't make us miss.
No, we didn't miss anything. It was feisty across Africa, Europe, and even South America. Maybe a bit of Asia, but then it was feisty. Really football. We really enjoyed our break, which is not really a break.
It was favorable, one way or the other. So talking about international break, let us move to Nigeria Super Eagles, where they have moved up to 4 places in the FIFA ranking that was released on Friday. FIFA released the list on Friday, and Nigeria moved from 45th to 41 in the FIFA rankings. I think that's a very good one for us. We saw it coming, to be honest. You know, Eric Shell's side got 2 wins on the bounce for a very long time. We haven't got 2 wins on the bounce. And a 2-1 win over, what's the name of this team again? Rwanda?
Lesotho.
Yeah, Lesotho. And then we got a 4-0 win over Benin. It could have been more. And, last week when I was speaking, I was not, on the popular side of things when I said, okay, I think Sam was around, Toyosi was around. I was not on the popular side of saying I believe that something can happen. So, a 4-0 win, how would you say you were feeling that day, Toyosi?
Well, it was a good win. I won't say impressive because if we're being honest, I didn't really see much of the Squirrels come to play. They didn't give them a tough fight. But Nigerians don't care about that. They care about the 4-0 at the end of the day. They won, they got the result done. And not just the 4-0 win, the fact that they scored the 4th goal, which we saw how the stadium, the opera, because they scored that important 4th goal to put Burkina Faso below Nigeria. And Nigeria, of course, with the goal difference, were on top of Burkina Faso on the table there. So good one for them. Most especially the good points to take out of this is the fact that Victor Osimhen scored a hat-trick, meaning that if Victor Osimhen is fit and ready to play for Nigeria, he's that man you can rely on. He can give you those goals. Can't remember the last time Madrid scored. Can't remember the last time. I'm already in the club football season already. I can't wait for club football to start. You can't remember when last Nigeria scored 4-0. Especially in these qualifiers, the most they scored was like 2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals.
So it's promising to see that their final game ended in a 4-0, meaning that going into the playoffs, we have that belief that we can put some good goals past Gabon, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We just want to make sure that, okay, we savor this, see how the team can come together and take, positives from this performance. Yeah.
We're talking about Victor Osimhen, before the game, we saw a lot of things on Twitter, Jagun, Ogundeji, so many names. And he lived up to the billing. Out of 5 games that he played, we won 4. We could have won 5, but when we subbed him off very late in the game, against Zimbabwe, they equalized. So almost all our goals that led to our win, Victor Osimhen was involved. He has 29 goals for Nigeria now in 42 appearances. What would you say to Victor Osimhen right now? He just has about 9 goals to break Rashidi Yekini's record.
So Victor Osimhen, beautiful for him, is the fact that the hat-trick is not a waste. Because if the match had ended 3-0,
it was a waste, to be honest.
Frank Onyeka delivered the final blow to Burkina Faso's.
They were very annoyed. They were asking questions.
Everybody still, I even saw some.
It seems unfair.
Some videos of Beninois who were so angry with Nigeria. Like, why can't you just allow us and all of that? But it's beautiful for Osimhen that he came to the party. Since got through the qualifiers, like you said, in 5 games, I think 2 assists as well.
Yeah.
And then he played 5 games, we won 4. The 5th, that we also. So without Osimhen, does it mean that all the other top strikers that we think we have can't do anything for us?
We're not
I think that has shown.
Yeah.
We have 14 goals. He scored 40% of the goals. In a team of how many players played the qualifier, maybe about 30 players in total or more, and then one person is delivering 40% of the goals. It tells a lot about our team. We are not that side that can always show when we do need them. Yes, I said it here many times, and I'm saying it again. maybe Nigeria, we need to be at the World Cup. We want to see ourselves at the World Cup, but then we haven't shown that we deserve a spot at the World Cup.
Yes.
If we can, in the 10th match, that's when we score 4 goals. That's all. We played 9 games before that, and we were lackadaisical for most of those qualifiers. Then yes, it's when the matter moves, we kind of deliver, and it looks like the playoff is a good spot for us. But I am not too impressed. But then, if they give this kind of performance, who says they can't do that in playoff and then maybe in the Africa playoff and then go into the international playoff? But then you also have to pray, because the only man that seems to be doing it is Victor Osimhen, to be fit to be in those games.
Well, let's talk about the rankings now. Amongst the 4 nations that are in this playoff for Africa, we've got Nigeria 41st, and Cameroon is the second on the log. Yeah. But they are, I think, about 70-something there. About Gabon also, they are there, and there is,
Congo.
We are the highest ranked team. That is why we're even facing Gabon right now.
Yes.
So what would you say to, what is your expectation come, November? We're going to be playing Gabon first in Morocco. Then if we get to the final, how's it like for you?
Yeah, a lot of people were waiting for the rankings, even though nothing was really expected to change. Before now, even Gabon was still the lowest out of the 4 teams. DR Congo maintained their spots. They're 68th. I think Cameroon dropped from 52nd to 55th or so. So it's still the same way, the way people saw it, it was going to be for the seedings, for the playoffs. Going to that game against Gabon, for me, the thing is that you never can tell the kind of Super Eagles that will turn out, because, I mean, just like Sam said, where was this performance, all through the qualifiers? Why is that time that you need that pressure? If in that game, not until Terry Murphy came on and showed signs that there was a goal still needed before the players even
I think they didn't know that they needed something.
You could see Nwabali doing his antics we've already won this game, but we needed a goal. So are you trying to tell me that if there's no pressure now, we'll just do our thing and just go? So that game against Gabon is going to be tough. Gabon will not give you what Benin Republic did. Trust me. They finished just a point below Ivory Coast. They showed they can score goals. Aubameyang wins 30, they're about 36, still scoring 4 in the game.
They are showing that they can score goals. They can also concede. They win 4-3.
They can also concede.
It is something that we need to come out against Gabon. If we don't win against Gabon, then I feel like our football is dead.
The only bad thing, no, I won't say bad, but it's somehow sad. We are not beating the allegations of being called Osimhen FC. I mean, if Osimhen is not there, just imagine a scenario where Osimhen is not playing that game against Gabon and they have their fit strikers against us. They can concede, but who's going to score the goals for us? But they have people that can score the goals for them.
Well, let's talk about another thing that is super. That is the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Remember, they won the Mission X last time around, and their coach, Justin Madugu, has released a 21-player squad for a 2-legged showdown against Benin Republic in the final round of the qualifiers for 2026 Women African Cup of Nations to be hosted by Morocco. The experienced team is headlined by Captain Rashidi Ajibade, who recently scored for Paris Saint-Germain in the Women's Champions League, and she's joined by Africa's reigning goalkeeper of the year, Chiamaka Nnadozie. She has other stalwarts like Michelle Alozie, Ashley Plumter, and 6-time CAF Women's Player of the Year, Assistant Oshuala. The first leg of the qualifiers will be played in a hostile turf in Togo, that's Lomé, and the other game will be played in Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. So, this time around, no gift Monday again. She didn't go to WAFCON. She scored so many goals in the women's soccer league. What do you call them in America? One of the best forwards in America now. She's not being called up. Do you think there is a conspiracy theory behind this? Because she released the statement during WAFCON.
I was going to go there. I think probably the means in expressing our displeasure. I would not, fault her for that. She's not going to be the first person to do so. We've seen players before her, the likes of Opara Nozier, what's her name? This other lady, come out with the outburst, Okobi, every one of them. So she should not be punished for that. She felt like she deserved to be in that, list to be called up, and she was not brought in. We've seen other, in fact, men's football too. We saw the Rabiot situation with his mom and all that, where he was not called up for the World Cup, even though they won the World Cup. But after that, he has come back into the side, So I really don't know what's wrong with Madugu and his crew. But if they feel like this is the list, the list or set of players that would do the job for them, and they would, of course, bring trophy home again, who am I to complain? But yes, I understand that you cannot please everybody. If Gift Monday would not be able to play and they bring home the WAFCON come 2026, or they beat Benin Republic over 2 legs, I'm sure we would not be bothered about who is not playing or who was not called up. So it still boils down to the manager. I just also feel like inclusion should be a priority too. We've seen players who come in based on their form. If you are in form, you're doing well, and you merit the call up, call them up. Gift Monday has. We saw how she started as a nobody. I don't want to use the word nobody. Sorry.
No, she started as a nobody.
She started where she was brought in. She was on the bench as at that time, understudying the likes of Oshoala and co. And then she was given that chance to. I think she started or she came in. She proved herself. Yeah, she proved herself. And then the next game, I think it was the last game of the group stage where she was given that start. Although they played 0-0 in that group stage, but it was already done and dusted. Nigeria was through to the quarterfinals and all that, but she also still did prove herself. So I don't know where this fallout came from, where all of a sudden her name has now become an absentee on the list. But then again, I just feel like she should just continue to do what she's doing, continue to score those goals in her league, and maybe at some point the whole drama will die down and then she'll be called up. But my only problem is if you're bringing someone else who is not giving you the same statistics or the same results that Gift Monday would have given you, that's where we'll have issues.
There'll be questions, obviously.
Okay, so then can I quickly just say this? I don't want us to flog this. I think it's just about the right profile of players that that he needs. Esther Okoronkwo and Gift Monday are practically like players.
Not exactly. Not really. I understand.
Esther is a left-footed player.
Aside from left-footed, Esther has guile. She's
more because the coach probably feel like there are players that they fit a similar profile, or there are players that he actually wants in the team. Joy Omewa is back in this team. Joy Omewa was not part of the Nations Cup, which I'm also happy. As she was doing well in Denmark. We even also talked about the fact why she didn't make it. The same thing with Edna Imade. Edna didn't make this list. But then it's good for Nigeria that we have plethora of talent that we can always pick from. I don't think there's any issue with Gift Monday. The message, the message she released during the AFCON was more even like, okay, yes, even though I'm not part of the team, I still give my full support to the team. So I don't think we should read meaning to it. I think at a point, the gaffer will look at him and look at her and feel that she deserves to be part of the side, and she will come in, because all she has to do, like you said, is to continue doing her job.
In her club, But for me, I think let's talk about living on eye. Ahead of Oshoala.
Hafiz, let's talk about living on eye. You mentioned somebody's name now. Assistant Oshoala. She has won about 4 WAFCONs now. A lot of people thought that after that WAFCON, she will anger both.
There was even a fake.
When you mentioned that name, I raised my eyebrow. Like, that is called up.
She's in Al Hilal now. Yeah. She won the Player of the Month for September. But do you think that a lot of people were saying that the NWFL, that's the Women's League in Nigeria, is even better than the Saudi Arabian Women's League? Because a defender, Ashley Plumter, scores goals. She does us a lot in that league. She scores a hat-trick in that league as a defender. So why are you trying to...
Did it degrade our performance?
No, not at all. We're trying to look at it from this angle that do you think that a certain person doesn't know when to leave and is blocking the role? I'm asking, no. Do you think a certain person does not know when to leave when the vision is high and is blocking the road for the likes of Edna Imade scoring for Sociedad and Gift Monday? Do you think?
I don't have issues with her coming for maybe when it's time for the WAFCON come 2026, they call her up again. I don't have issues with that. But when it comes to qualifiers where I'm not even sure Azizat will start against Benin. So what's the point? So why not bring in likes of Gift Monday or Edna Imade? She can sit this out and come for important games.
We might be losing Edna to Morocco because she's eligible to play for Spain, Morocco, and Nigeria. So Morocco might just be the next nation to poach her if we don't.
Vicky Lopez was eligible to play for Nigeria. Now she plays for Spain. So it doesn't matter. It's not
becoming a Nigerian thing.
The Malawian Nigerian girl, I'm trying to remember, Chioma Okafor, who plays for Nigeria. So we always going to have that.
I think the issue with Azizat is, look, I think we also had the same issue with Ahmed Musa. There's this sentiment that, maybe for lack of better word, but it's still going to be sentiment, and not in a bad way. This sentiment that, these guys have given us so much, they have experience, and they have this X factor that they can always still deliver when...
We owe them that.
So
until they decide.
Exactly. So that's why I don't have an issue. Even
cows.
Even though I raised my eyebrow, I still don't have an issue with it that she's still called up. She's the biggest name in that squad. She's the one who would probably give us anything different from what we've always been seeing. She has served, she has scored goals. So I can still give her that benefit of doubt that, okay, you can still be in the
Why not
team.
make the list 23? You invited 21.
So this is it. So if that's sometimes we look at this, especially aside the fact that, okay, it's an extra cost on the NFF.
Yeah.
If you are not going to play, there's no way you're going to play the 23 players. So why don't you just say invite players that you're sure at least are going to play all of them? Yeah.
I think I'll stand with Toyosi on the point of maybe when it comes to the tournament proper, you can bring in an old head for experience.
Yeah.
You understand? But this is qualifiers. Let the players know that we recognize what you've been doing for your club. Come and play seriously. But one thing about Nigeria is that it will be sad at the end of the qualifiers. Those players are now negotiated. Those qualifiers will now not be called up for the tournament.
But by the way, Esther Koronko and Rashida Ajibade have been nominated for Player of the Year for CAF. So who, before we leave this topic now, who do you think deserve to win this award? But at least Nigeria will win this award, yeah?
Easily.
So who do you think?
Rashidat, easily. Come on.
Shut up, man.
Easily. Rashidat has, the reason why I said so is because, look, Rashidat, we saw Rashidat's trajectory. It wasn't instantaneous. It wasn't the one-off thing. It wasn't something that, one season wonder. We saw how she started. Before she even joined, she left Nigeria and then joined Atletico Madrid. Yeah. From Atletico Madrid, she earned that Paris Saint-Germain move. We saw it.
Yeah.
So we could see, and she has been consistent with her performance. Not like, topsy-turvy. She has been very consistent.
But the numbers between she and...
she's not a striker, so why should I be judging her based on her numbers? I would only judge her based on her leadership, the contribution, the effectiveness in the team too as well. She earned that captaincy armband too.
Okoroko was clutch during WAFCON. No.
Yeah,
she was clutch because she was coming in from the bench. She wasn't even a starter. So why should I give it to someone who was not a starter?
Who was not a starter. But for me, I think I'm going a different path.
Okay.
I know my own is different.
Because you have a crush on her.
No.
Yes.
I'm not even talking about
say it, man.
Just say it.
We need to wrap up.
Let's give it to your crush.
Let me rest.
Say it, man.
Let's give it to your crush.
I've wasted.
Oh yeah, CAF award. CAF award, give it to your crush.
For me, it's not able to Nigerian.
Okay.
Because I want to give a shout out to, not even Banda, I want to give a shout out to Chebak of Morocco.
I think she was fantastic. Going to be Moroccan.
She was fantastic. Yes, what are you doing? She was fantastic in the tournament for me. But then I think looking at the African women's football in Nigeria, especially a WAFCON year, I think they will use that WAFCON performance.
Even if you use club football, Chebak plays in Morocco.
Yeah, she plays in Morocco.
They didn't win the Champions League itself. So what are you picking? Well, let's go to the Nigeria Premier Football League.
Performance, right?
Really, let's go to the Nigeria Premier Football League and match the 9 resumes this weekend. We didn't get international break last week. So Bendel Insurance will be hosting Rivers United this weekend. They lost last time around 2-1 to Bayelsa United, and Barao will be playing against Kano Pillars. That's a very controversial one that we need to talk about. Bayelsa United take on Kalifat, while Economy Warriors, they host Wiki Tourist. Eyimba play host Warrior Wolves. Ikorodu City host Nasra United. 2 fixtures will not be played in the MPFL this week because of CAF engagement. Yeah. But there is something concerning Barao and Kano Pillars. They use same stadium. Yeah. Kano Pillars were fined and they've been told to play their games in Katsina. That's their home ground. So now Barao are hosting Kano Pillars at home, which is same home for Kano Pillars. The MPFL board have said that the game will be behind closed doors. Why? Don't you think it's injustice to Barao?
I also believe so.
It's like you're punishing.
It's their own game. They are not the only team. We know Inter and AC Milan use this San Siro. We know Torino and Roma use this the Rome Stadium. In fact, there are a lot of clubs that they use. Even in England, some lower league club that uses the same stadium. So it's not an issue. Barao is using the Sani Abacha Stadium. You cannot punish them for a problem with Kano Pillars. Even though I also think the punishment of Kano Pillars is a bit harsh, because they actually came out with a statement immediately after that, and they were willing to cooperate with the board to bring out those those guys that caused the issue.
I don't agree.
I'm just saying that's
I don't agree that it was harsh. Because you brought out a media statement does not mean that we should.
Does not mean we
should exonerate you of your problem. And this is not the first time they've been the bad boys of the league for a long time.
For 20 years, they did not win. For 20 years, they did not win.
Can you just imagine? You've been the bad boy. You've been the black sheep of the league for how many? Terrorizing the league with your fans, with your misbehavior. Yes. It cannot continue. And most of the time, the punishments have been like a slap on the wrist. I think that's the reason why they felt like, let's release the statement. They'll take it easy on us again. Those fines, those punishments are still very low as far as I'm concerned. You said they're harsh.
That's I believe so, Daniel, because I believe it's now you push them to Katsina. Now you ask them. Almost the same punishment they have put on the player, on the fans, the 10 years, 10 season ban and all of those things. even Kano players also put those man, but that's not the discussion.
You know they work, no be for Nigeria.
That's not the discussion. the Barao thing, they actually do need this game because they are in the relegation already. So why won't you allow, even if it's to monitor it, that okay, it's only their fans that will come out.
How do you want to know?
So you tell Barao to bring in their fans. You tell Barao to bring
only their supporters club.
No, that's what I'm saying. Only their supporters club. Their supporter team to come in.
Only those ones should come.
This is ash on them.
But the Kano Pillars situation, taking Kano Pillars to Katsina is still like home away from home. So why don't you take them to a place maybe in the east?
So who's going to pay them?
The severe punishment is key.
But one thing, let's be reasonable with this punishment. How much do these guys get after winning the league? Because the money
it's a state government club, not the private club.
The money using running the entire league, it's way much more than how much they even get to win.
Why can't they control their funds? Why can't they control their funds?
That's just
if you can control your funds, you avoid all these kind of things.
If for like 5 seasons, close the stadium, they would always play behind closed doors.
Yes.
For 5 seasons, their fans are starved of coming into the stadium to watch. Not for one game.
Just take them from the north. Even if you don't want to keep them in north, take them to Premier North Central.
You can't take them. They have to maintain their culture. Play in your stadium, but behind closed doors for 5 seasons. And that 5 seasons because of for previous.
You're saying 5 seasons. Yes. That's a long time. Now. I could even say maybe you've been consistently doing this thing for 5 seasons. Let them ban your fans for 5 seasons.
How do you want to
when somebody is in prison in the US, where you give them 5 years, they don't take the whole 5 years.
Yes, 2.5 years.
So while we see, maybe on good behavior, we can now reduce it. So for 5, just declare that for 5 seasons behind closed doors, they play without any fans. And if an away team is coming in, they can bring in their own fans. We know Shooting Stars have their own fans. You can't have an Hausa person that is Shooting Stars fan. We may have, somehow, but most of the time they support their northern club. So there's no how you'll be able to differentiate that when you have away fans coming in. But Kano Pillars fans, you are not allowed at all.
Well, before we go on a break, let's talk about the Under-20 World Cup. This team that I'm about to talk about, they knocked out Nigeria in a very silly way. 4-0 loss for Nigeria, Argentina, and they're in the final now. Should we excuse Nigeria now? Saying, okay, should we excuse Nigeria saying, okay, maybe...
Those who they beat, did they beat them silly?
But yes, it's a final today.
Good question,
Morocco will be taking on Argentina. Fairy tale run for Morocco. They've never been to the final of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. And I think when we look at the trajectory of Morocco now, it seems very amazing that this North African team are doing well. Before I talk about how they got here, let's preview the game. So how do you think this game will play out, Hafiz?
Well, for me, I think it's more than a fairy tale run from Morocco. They actually proved that they can play ball. They defeated Brazil, who were poor. They defeated one of the favorites, Spain, in the group
France
stage.
Also,
France as well. And I watched about 2 of their games, full games, and they are so coordinated. You will know that there's been development over the years. These boys can play ball. But then the Argentine team, we are just victims. Those guys can play. Honestly, they can really play ball. And they have players that are actually playing abroad. Even at a young age, they have a player from Bournemouth, Julio Soler. They have a player from Inter Miami, Silvetti, who is not even a starter. They have Cristiano, who is playing for Benfica. Carrizo, who scored a free kick against us, plays back home. They have good players.
I think Echeverri.
No, they didn't take Echeverri. They didn't even take Mastantuono.
Yeah.
So these are boys that they still have good players. They have players.
Some of them are even starters for River Plate and Co.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, talking about those guys, one thing that keeps affecting us here is the fact that sometimes we don't select based on merit. I talked about how Morocco got here. They barely have home-based players here. I don't like the idea of, okay, we must be doing quota system. We want to use our own team to sell slots, to advertise players around, which is what we do, which is not good. So take a look at our team now. How many foreign-based players we have? I know a lot of people that message me from PSV, from English teams and all of that. They want to play, but they won't get picked. Why? They will say, okay, we want to use our own slots to sell players. We have turned our national teams into marketing.
On this Under-20, we had about 3 or 4 who are not playing.
No. Yeah. Because they already moved from Nigeria.
Has also moved.
They moved from Nigeria. That's Daga. That's Parobo.
And even
so, okay, what happens to the way Morocco is also poaching talent? Some of these talent, we're not even the one poaching them. They want to come play. And I know somebody from Arsenal, from Chelsea. Chelsea didn't release one. And there was another one from what I call Netherlands. So why are we not also poaching talent?
What I would say to that is that let's give everybody fair chance. I don't want to believe because you play at Arsenal you are better than some of these guys. It's just about that. That's what I think we should push for.
Another thing, I want to correct one notion that you made it look like Morocco are poaching talents. They are not. They are not.
They're just developing.
You're making it sound like they're coming to come and help Morocco. No. Morocco has made the foundation so easy that it's enticing. You want
to come home.
But you've not done your own assignment and you want it to just the food should just be done in front of you like a buffet.
We have to go on a very short break now. But before we go, let me say something. Morocco have done enough. Yes, they have camps abroad, even in their country. So I'm only saying, even those that are good enough to play, we are not giving them a chance for our youth teams.
That's what I'm saying, that there's a system these guys can come in through the channel. I don't need to call one journalist and say, help me now to come. No, there's a system. They don't need to go through somebody or start, collecting bribe to, okay, I'll bring you. Just like you mentioned, a PSV player was calling you. That's not right, I'm sorry to say. There are proper channels you can go. I'm not trying to say that what you did is wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. It's because of the foundation we have and the structure we have here. On a normal day in a very properly well-run, developed country, there are channels where you go through this.
We don't have anybody to meet. That's the thing.
So what are we saying?
Well,
under 20, under 17,
we have to go on a very short break.
We don't develop them
at all.
Well, yes, let's go on a very short break. We'll be back. It's still the beautiful game on TBC Entertainment. Welcome back. If you just joined, this is the beautiful game on TV Entertainment, and we're going to be talking about the CAF Champions League this time around, starting from home, where Rivers United are going to be traveling to take on Black Bulls. And what's the name again? I said Shooting Stars. Remo Stars. They'll be taking on Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns are in Abeokuta already. But of course, let's start with Rivers United. They lost on Monday, 1-2. At the time, they were unbeaten in the league. Bayelsa United went away to defeat Finidi George and his boys. So do you think they are going to be carrying this kind of form to the CAF competition here?
One thing with the MPFL, the level of inconsistency can be quite, I don't know how to put this now, quite surprising.
Yeah.
Now, the last time we saw Abia Warriors, Rivers United, chasing themselves on top of the table. Remo Stars was not in the picture because of their competition and all that. And then now you can see that. And one thing about the MPFL is you lose one game,
you're down.
That's it. Because you have almost like 4 or 5 teams almost on the same points, or the point difference is just maybe 1 or 2. Even when it comes to the relegation zone or the middle table, you're just 2 wins away from almost topping the table, and probably two losses away from being in the drop zone.
Yeah.
So it's a very strange and interesting league, and that's why I also like it. And that's why sometimes I feel like they should be able to translate how tough the league is to be able to play intercontinental football. But unfortunately, they do not. And I tend to wonder why they can't translate such toughness when you're playing against other leagues teams, or other teams. I can understand the Northern African countries. Let's
or the South African ones.
Yeah, let's remove them for now. But what of the likes of what's their name now? Simba, Asante Kotoko. You're losing games.
Kwara United 9 me pass.
Come on, you're losing games. You can't go strength for strength with these guys. They're not playing better football than you are. If it's by physique, we also have that physique.
Yeah, we play under tougher conditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? I just feel like Rivers United need to start, doing something right. If Enyimba would not be able to come to the party or continue to maintain that status at which they were before, the next team should be Rivers United. We know Remo Stars are the new boys.
Yeah.
I can even give them that leeway that, okay, they are still finding their way around all of this. But look at them. It has taken them 3 years, and they're looking like their mainstays. I know against Mamelodi Sundowns, it might be like, end of the road, but I'll also not be surprised if they can also cross over this challenge.
Okay, so if you win this round, then you are going to the group stage.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just quickly say something. When you're talking about the players, what they do here and what they do on the continent, I used to know, but I don't know, maybe I don't want to say with Rivers United that some of these, sometimes the players that are on the 2 games in the league are different from the players that they play on the continent. And why is that? Is that some of these players are being are not registered to play on the continent because they are awaiting move. Like they are waiting to move to a club. So there's that arrangement between them and the club.
To avoid injuries.
They don't put their names on the list because they might be going to one of these. I don't know for Rivers United, maybe they have any player like that. It's not the same players that you see that play the league. Sometimes some of their best players might not even might not be registered for that. It has happened many times in the years gone by. But this is a game naturally that you feel Rivers United should pull some weight against.
But Rivers United have been the best Nigerian team on the continent in the last 5 years. They made the group stage, even the semi-finals of the CAF Conference Cup. So they've been the one carrying our name. Enyimba made us suffer. African Football League that we had, CAF Champions League, they made us suffer. Conference Cup, we suffered. You know, the last time Enyimba gave us joy was probably 2016. So that's about 10 years ago now. So Rivers United are the best team, even in rankings. I think they are the highest in Nigeria now. So despite not winning the CAF Champions League, coefficient they are the best. So I think they actually
their last 2 seasons have been quite poor.
Definitely, but they have the edge over even Remo Stars. If they defeat Black Bulls, maybe on aggregate they go to group stage.
So hopefully that's what we can just look at it. Because this is the team that over 2 legs they should be able to negotiate go over.
So Remo Stars, this is the biggest game of their life. They've played Casablanca before, but Mamelodi Sundowns, one of the best teams to ever come out of South Africa or to come out of Africa themselves. So I know you're smiling. I saw Ron Williams yesterday. I'm like, this is just exactly the team that played Nigeria in Bloemfontein. So imagine our own European team could not defeat their South African team. Remo Stars are going to be playing.
So it's just like we are renewing that rivalry. We are taking it to the club side. For me, it's just like new boys against seasoned competitors. I mean, just like you said, Remo Stars, this like the first time ever. Should they make this true, they will get to the group stage.
This is even the first time they're going to second round.
They are playing against 2016 champions, a team that has even been coming close. They've gotten to semi-finals. They played likes of Pyramids, Al-Ali.
They were the runner for the last edition.
So, I mean, and look at the players now. I mean, about 7 of them played for Bafana just to qualify for the World Cup as well. I know there will be fatigue and all of that, but then you are playing against, it's just that experience. And we know in Nigeria, we like this experience
like
thing.
The Manchester City exactly. Premier League.
So, but then, if there's anything African football has shown over the years that it is not over until the final, which anything can happen, they can just come here and be humbled. I mean, I've seen games where there was a time I went to the stadium, that time when Julius Berger, they played, was it not Etoile du Sahel then? They won 2-0. I was already like, it's done and dusted. We got to Tunisia and they were humbled 3-0. So football is just like that. They might come here and get humbled. And I'm sure Remo Stars, they've had that extra build-up. You know, there was no international break, even though they lost their last game in the NPFL to Casablanca.
It was an away game.
They haven't started well in the NPFL at all. They are not even supposed to be where they are at the moment. I guess that's down to the continental commitment. So if they get through this one, if they get through this one by beating Mamelodi Sundowns, they will still have that, you know, they have to try to negotiate between the CAF competition and then the NPFL. But that's for them to, you know, a problem for them to, you know, to solve. But going into this game, I think it's going to be tough, but Remo Stars, they've shown over the years that they can beat anyone. But let's
look at the lineup for Remo Stars. Benenoa's #1 choice goalkeeper, that's Obasa, should be in goal for Remo Stars. Their right back should be Ismail Sodiq. At least most of these team members played for Nigeria. Chan. Sodiq, this guy, Adams is there.
We had about 7 or 8 of their players part of the Chan.
Lenge, the guy that scored own goal against Nigeria, Chan, is in their team. They have experienced forwards. In their team. When I say experience, I mean by international tournament, not by club tournament itself.
Okay, but I thought Joseph Abba is a youngster because Adam Goita. But it's going to be a tough one. It's what we've known Remo Stars to be, and with their youth team, is the fact that they always have a lot of youngsters. I think they have. They don't put
most of these youngsters here. They sell them abroad now.
Now they're playing a very tough side, and it's not just they're topping the PSL as it is right now. And
but they also faltered before the international break.
They've only lost 1 game so far this season, but they're leaving the day with 1 point against Sekukune United. It's a very tough game for Remo Stars, but like Afi said, it's football. Sometimes you just have to throw the respect away. You don't look at the names. Yeah, the Rowan Williams, thankfully, Ikram will not be playing.
But he's back.
Oh yeah, but he might be playing the second leg, but it might not this first leg. Yeah.
If we don't concede too much here,
all we just have to do is to find a way to do the job well here. I don't think Remo Stars can win this game. I just want them to win handsomely. That is because a player like Mudau, who can run for 90 minutes. We saw him with South Africa. He probably played the 2 games. The right back. He's a right
always running. Always running.
Mudau is
always running. And
so
they have good players.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
And then the man that every Nigerian knows his name by now. Teboho is in that middle. So they just have to not to look at that. Koulibaly has to be able to do the job well. Like I don't send the names and.
Even Sadiq, they have to be really tight to midfield. And that's why I also like the fact that they are playing a 4-4-2 formation where the midfield is quite compact. Yes, it's quite stoked and compact there. Service is what their strikers need. Goita and what's the name of this guy? Joseph Abba. They need service. Where Ida, what's his name now? Alex is the one giving that service, and the
or Adam, so Olalemilekon.
Any one of them giving that right service to the strikers as quick as possible. Because when Mamelodi Sundowns play football, we are quite pacey, and when it comes to fast thinking, their passes too are very precise. So you always have to anticipate their moves, and when you're also on the counter attack or on the attacking move, be very precise too as fast as possible. Because trust me, the home advantage should count this time around. Concede less. You can't do without not conceding, but concede less. And make sure that when you travel away,
at least looking at this lineup that we have for Mamelodi Sundowns, what advice would you give to Daniel Ogumodede? He's not going to be on the touchline because he does not have that license yet. It's the Thiago guy that is in charge. Yes. So looking at this lineup now, basically for you, what advice would you give to the management? Park the bus, play on the counter. What would you give?
Pray.
Come on, what's that? Be professional, please.
Anyway, to be honest, what I'm just seeing, looking at the team, it depends on the particular lineup he's going to bring out. That's one, and the tactics is also going to put in. If he's going to be using a 4-4-2, just like we've seen there, we can see that 4-4-2 it will give you 2 strikers going forward. You can also choke that midfield. You don't necessarily have to bring interest from the wings. They have players that can bring interest from the wings. I was talking about Atos Sales, who is a good Brazilian player, but I don't want to let him go into the defensive this time around because you can't score goals. If you go on the defensive, just like that, you can't park the bus for me. So it shouldn't be a case of respecting Sundowns. Go against them. Let them know that it's African football. But they have a dangerous striker. That's talking about Peter Shaluli. He's from Namibia. He's a very dangerous striker. Reynolds is also there, who might not be playing. They still have play. I think they have a Brazilian, Lucas. I'm trying to remember. Lucas Ribeiro.
That's why they call him the Brazilians.
We saw him in
Jaden Adams too as well.
And Jaden Adams. They have Abbas in the midfield. I'm looking like I'm hyping these players.
You're not hyping. The names alone.
They are stacked
in every position.
They've been champions. They won in 2016, just like we said. It's like
since Picture won it for them, they've not actually.
I don't know. That's why I said 3. I'm sorry. I take it back.
It's a big one for Rebel Stars. Yeah, but then you're playing a finalist from last year, so you just have to.
It's a team that comes in Europe and all of that.
I would say, please play your game. However it goes. That's what I would say to you guys. Every one of you guys, go there and enjoy yourself.
What if they cannot avoid the embarrassment?
Well, let me take you to England. We have mouth-watering fixtures this weekend. Liverpool against Manchester United.
Is it mouth-watering?
It is.
It's not
for FPL boys. For FPL boys, their Salah will eat this weekend.
Salah has not been.
But this is a big game. Form is thrown out of the window. 13 goals and 6 assists in 15 appearances against United. I think that should be like the highest against any other team.
Wow. Sure.
Harry Kane has eaten against Arsenal, but see this Salah is always eating against
Mohamed Salah has received more yellow cards than the number of goals Manchester United have scored at the Anfield. So what are we saying? He has gotten more yellow cards for removing his shirt against United.
So we have very limited time now. What would be your predictions for this game?
I think I'll go with the Liverpool win here. Ancelotti majorly needs to find that balance. I'm sure the international break gave him, some time to be in his office and see where and how the team can be balanced from the defense to the midfield, even to the attack. Get the right, attacking formation and the midfield to be balanced too as well. You can't do anything about the defense. You just need the likes of Kekes or maybe Bradley and Konate and the reason why I didn't mention Frimpong because he's more attacking minded. So you already know what you bought. So there's nothing you can do about that.
Liability, maybe.
You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. This you bought him from Bayer Leverkusen as a fullback, somebody who loves to bump forward. So find that balance. If you're going to play on maybe not necessarily ultra defensive, but in a way where you are compact and you don't concede too many goals, because that has always been the problem since the start of this season. And make sure you find a way to bring Mohamed Salah back in form. If Salah is in form, if he's happy, Liverpool ticks.
Okay, sharp. Your predictions, please, for the pointers.
There'll be goals for me. I think there'll be goals. And I say Liverpool win. I'm going for 2.5 actually. There will be more than 2 goals scored in that game. It can just be.
Okay.
Liverpool should win, but for the pointers, they should pick Man U to get a goal at least. Maybe 2. Because you can always talk about this Liverpool, they keep conceding.
Who wants to score for Man United?
Well, for me, it's still both teams to score. Teams to score and on that 3.5. Maybe a 3. Yes, on that 3.5. Okay. Yes, I'm saying on that 3.5. Yes.
There'll be more than.
Well, it's possible. It's possible.
Well, thank you very much for coming. It's been a wonderful time, talking about Nigeria, especially, I'm in a happy mood this morning. If I had enough, I would carry the ball.
I hope Sundowns won't spoil that.
If you had enough.
Well, it's been a wonderful time. Thanks for, watching. And next week, we'll be back. Remember, it's the classical weekend. Come next week. So, don't forget to tune in. Bye-bye.
Argentina, champions of the world!